Only weeks after flash floods in Valencia killed hundreds, storms hit Spain's southern province of Malaga. Demonstrators clashed with Belgian police as they protested against the arrival of far-right French politician Jordan Bardella.
A new report by Human Rights Watch points to deliberate forced displacement in Gaza that amounts to ethnic cleansing.
Protests erupted in Paris against the controversial gala held in a secret location, which was intended to raise money for Israel. Storms in Spain's southern province of Malaga caused school closures and train cancellations. 2 weeks after flash floods in Valencia and other parts of the country killed more than 220 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Streets in the area were flooded as thousands were moved from their houses as a preventative measure. There were no reports of any deaths. Experts say that drought and flood cycles are increasing with climate change. In response to the devastating floods in Spain, the European Parliament debated measures to strengthen the EU's resilience to extreme weather events and provide support to those impacted by the disaster. The debate focused on enhancing the EU's crisis response, particularly in regions increasingly vulnerable to climate-driven events.
Protests erupted in Paris on Wednesday night against a controversial gala organized by Israel's far right. The event, held in a secret location, intended to raise money for Israel. It advertised guests such as the Israeli finance minister Bezalel Smotrich, known for his extreme positions on Gaza, who ended up canceling his trip to Paris. The demonstration was organized by multiple pro-Palestinian groups and the hard-left France Unbowed Party.
C'est suite au gala de Israel Forever, moi je dirais plutôt Aurore Israël, car on invite des gens qui ont tenu des propos qui incitent à la haine raciale et au-delà de ça, qui déshumanisent, c'est-à-dire pour parler concrètement, c'est-à-dire qui comparent des Palestiniens à des animaux.
French authorities refused to cancel the event, claiming it posed no major threat to public order, further angering protesters and some left-wing politicians.
C'est une véritable colère, parce qu'on a des gens qui, encore une fois, ici, au chaud, dans un salon doré, vont lever de l'argent qui va alimenter demain l'armée israélienne qui va massacrer des enfants en Palestine. C'est absolument inacceptable.
Although the demonstration was relatively peaceful, a few stores such as McDonald's and Carrefour were vandalized. Tensions are at an all-time high as the gala was coincidentally held on the eve of a football match between Israel and France. Some are worried the game could lead to major clashes.
De voir qu'il y a autant de forces de l'ordre pour cet événement, ça me fait un peu peur pour la tenue non violente des mobilisations qui vont se jouer contre.
A total of 4,000 police officers will be mobilized for the football game on Thursday evening in Paris. That's one police officer for every 5 attendees, a highly unusual number for such a sporting event.
The Israeli military is responsible for deliberate forced displacement of Palestinians in Gaza, according to a new report by Human Rights Watch. The humanitarian group said they have evidence that Israeli authorities' conduct, which has led to the displacement of 90% of Gaza's population, amounts to war crimes. They point to a clear intent by Israeli government officials, including Netanyahu, to make the return of displaced Palestinians to their homes impossible.
Given this evidence, including the sheer number of Palestinian civilians in Gaza driven from their land and the manner of displacement, and the attempts to make this return impossible, the forced displacement is widespread, systematic, and intentional, and forms part of a state policy and amounts to a crime against humanity. In the areas where the military has raised, extended, and cleared land for buffer zones and security corridors, Human Rights Watch finds these actions of the Israeli authorities amount to ethnic cleansing.
The report is being published amid an ongoing Israeli military campaign in northern Gaza that has created a new wave of displacement of hundreds of thousands of civilians. In its report, Human Rights Watch analyzed Israeli evacuation orders and said that they do not comply with the laws of war by failing to ensure safe passage and refuge for Palestinians.
Police deployed water cannons at demonstrators after hundreds gathered in Brussels to protest the arrival of French far-right politician Jordan Bardella. Local media reports that around 300 protesters organised by left-wing groups and from Belgian universities were met by police as they demonstrated against the arrival of the chairman of France's far-right National Rally Party. Bardella arrived in Belgium to present his recently published memoir.
It's day 3 here at COP29. The high-ambition coalition led by the Marshall Islands reaffirmed their climate commitments. Several leaders addressed the summit today, including Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who emphasised the need to phase out fossil fuels and highlighted nuclear fusion as a potential game-changer. Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama went off script, questioning the purpose of the summit if leaders continue with business as usual. For the European Union, European Council President Michel already noted yesterday that in 2023, the EU and its 27 member states contributed around €29 billion in climate finance. What role can the EU play at COP29 when it comes to pushing for a more ambitious collective climate goal? We put the question to the EU Commissioner for Climate.
We have been one of the leaders on climate financing. We have been doing more than our fair share and we will continue to do so. And yet at the same time we are saying to interlocutors from across the globe that those with the ability to pay more actually also should take that responsibility.
And with Trump wanting the US to withdraw from the Paris Agreement, could this encourage the EU to step up its commitments?
We have been leading on this topic and we will continue to lead. And by the way, we will do our utmost to also engage proactively and constructively with the new American administration. We've always had great collaboration with American administrations from the left and the right, and we will continue exactly with doing that.
But increasing climate action can also lead to more competitiveness.
So what we see is that if you want to decarbonize, it is a climate strategy, but it's actually also a growth and economic strategy. And new sectors are developing. Think about the battery industry, think about the wind industry, think about the solar industry. So there's huge economic potential. What we will do is incentivize and create the space for our companies to do so, and we will more ferociously defend a level playing field within the European Union.
Negotiations are entering a delicate phase here in Baku, with unofficial draft proposals circulating already, divisions, pushbacks and differing ambitions. The most frequently asked question in the last few hours is, what would a successful COP look like?
Chamam-lhe a nova revolução industrial das mais de 3 mil empresas que expõem o trabalho aqui na Web Summit Lisboa 2024. A maioria trabalha no setor da inteligência artificial, põe as máquinas a pensar e a aprender para resolver os problemas da atualidade. Um dos mais prementes é o desmatamento no Brasil. A área afetada equivale a 350 campos de futebol.
A Audichat é uma inteligência artificial que faz o reconhecimento de madeira serrada em tora. Nós fazemos esse reconhecimento dentro do WhatsApp. Nossa tecnologia é uma API verificada pela Meta. No Brasil, esse nosso reconhecimento ele serve para preenchimento do documento florestal. Ele ajuda o madeireiro com esse preenchimento para que essa madeira ela passe na rodovia federal com certificação autorizada. Em Portugal, a gente quer levar para o europeu que compra a madeira do Brasil e ele certifica que essa madeira que chega do Brasil para ele é uma madeira legalizada.
Aqui a inteligência artificial facilita a vida de quem gosta de viajar ao aliviar e muito a carteira. Aqui temos um pacote de 4 voos, Lisboa, Malta, Roma, com regresso a Lisboa, e isto ficaria por quanto, mais ou menos?
200 euros.
Diz-me 200 euros.
Sim, yes, sim.
este pacote de voos com a Trip, nós ficaríamos a saber que custaria quanto, Helena?
Então, olha, se fosse já a nossa plataforma, tu conseguirias ver que o preço real é, através da inteligência artificial, ficaria por 66 euros. 4 voos.
Nós temos 70 milhões de voos numa base de dados, com comboios também e autocarros. E em tempo real nós criamos combinações com esses dados com um objetivo, que é cozer basicamente aqueles pontos com o objetivo de maximizar a probabilidade de conversão. O software sabe tudo, sabe os preços todos de todas as rotas para todas as cidades do mundo e está ali a criar em tempo real as combinações, temos milhões e milhões de possibilidades que são mais interessantes para ti como utilizador.
Na Web Summit também não faltam soluções de mobilidade. Este é um simulador urbano, um modelo híbrido entre um multicóptero e um avião. Vai permitir transportar pessoas e mercadorias de uma forma mais rápida e menos poluente. Poderá vê-lo nos céus dentro de mais ou menos 10 anos.
With the chips and power semiconductors from Infineon, such things, which now look like they are future, can be reality quite soon. So we are powering up drones, motors, electrical cars, AI data centers, and we are delivering power to where it's needed.
Robôs como este que vemos aqui, o Stella, têm um grande potencial criativo, mas por outro lado também podem acabar com muitos empregos. Esse é um equilíbrio que quem está nesta área ainda procura alcançar. João Azevedo, Euronews, na Web Summit, em Lisboa.
Euronews. The news